He's one of the world's best-selling authors who has sold over 300 million books in 115 countries.
We're talking about Jeffrey Archer. Here's his new book right here. It's called An Eye for an Eye. It's already being called impossible to put down. There's a billion-dollar deal that's gone bad, a government in crisis, an inheritance with explosive consequences. And to talk about it all and more, it's a pleasure to welcome Jeffrey Archer back here to TMS. Jeffrey, good to see you. We'd ask you what you've been up to, but I think we know. Tell us about this new book.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you both again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about this book, if you could.
Well, it's the story of a man who's called by the Prime Minister from his banking hall in the city of London and asked to go to Saudi Arabia and close a £3 billion deal. He's told he must have a Lebanese to take care of the deal. He chooses one. He then goes to a club to celebrate. He witnesses a murder. He's told to go home very quickly, so he goes back to his hotel. And the following morning, when he gets up hoping to meet the minister, he's arrested for murder. And that's when our hero comes in, Commander Warwick, ready to solve the case.
Jeffrey, I hope you do the audiobooks. Please tell me you read them.
Please tell me you. Sorry.
I hope you do, because you always are so enthralling when you're telling us about your stories. Now, I got to talk about William Warwick for a second, because fans of yours have seen the evolution of Warwick from an eager young cop to a seasoned investigator. Do you find,
Yes.
Is he a part of you now?
Yes, I think that happens when you're writing a series. He's gone from being a constable in the first book, Nothing Ventured, through to sergeant, inspector, chief inspector, superintendent, chief superintendent, and he's just about to become a commander. Will he in the final book? But I will not be telling you until next year, Caroline. I will not be telling you until next year if he becomes commissioner of the Metropolitan Police. Or does he get the sack?
Okay, well, we will have to hold on and wait to find out. In the meantime, since we have you here, Jeffrey, I want to ask you about a few royal headlines. It's coming up on the 5-year anniversary, believe it or not, of Harry and Meghan's split from the royal family. As we know, you were a friend of Diana, watched her distance herself from the royal family after her divorce. How do you think she would feel about Harry and Meghan's decision and where they stand now?
She'd be brokenhearted, Jeff. She adored the children. Whenever I went to see her and we would walk into the drawing room, there were 2 pictures of her children there, aged 5 and 7 at that time. And she would stop and chat about them. And in any case, whenever you were with her, she just loved meeting children. It gave her such a thrill, and it was so genuine. I think she'd be in a terrible state. But I think I'd go one further, Jeff. I don't think it would have happened if she'd still been around.
Okay. All right. At the top of the show, Jeffrey, we were talking with Patricia Treble, our royal insider, and we were just talking about how the King and Queen are about to go on a high-profile tour of Australia and Samoa. How do you think they're doing in their roles as King and Queen?
Brilliantly in England, although the King has already said he is prepared for the Australians, some Australians, to suggest they no longer want a monarch. And that, of course, in itself is interesting, and he will have to deal with it. The Queen, of course, has been wonderful for me. She reads all the books and sends me wonderful handwritten letters, for which I'm very touched and pleased. And I sympathize them with their trip to Australia. It isn't going to be easy. And indeed, when they come to Canada, it'll be equally interesting as to how the Canadian people treat the new King and Queen, because the old Queen, everybody loved her, everybody admired her, and none of us were sure what would happen after she died. What one can say with absolute safety is that he started brilliantly.
All right. In the meantime, I want to remind everybody, An Eye for an Eye. It is available now wherever books are sold. The always interesting Jeffrey Archer. Jeffrey, it's always a pleasure to have you with us on TMS.
It's very kind. It's always fun to be on your show. Thank you, both of you.